Will We Talk?
Welcome to a brand new episode of Will We Talk. Do us a favour, before we crack on, would you leave this episode a little like, and if you are sort of watching on YouTube, you know there's that subscribe button, do us a favour, click subscribe. If you're listening as well on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen, drop us a little rating. Say we're min. No negative ones, please. We have got a special show today. We've got two artists in the spotlight. We're going to be speaking to Oliver Pinder in about 15-20 minutes time. But Idyllic join us on the sofa now. Boys, how are we?
Very well.
Mate, how are you?
Good, man, yeah.
I mean, we were doing a little bit of geography before we started rolling about you boys and where you're from.
Yeah.
You sort of Manchester, Wirral, Liverpool, sort of a nice connection. You're bringing us all together.
I like you put the Wirral in there.
You
It's
got
good, that. I'm
you
into
told
that.
me about put the Wirral in.
I'll give him a fiver before we started.
So what's the story then? How has that come together, the sort of Manchester-Liverpool connection?
So originally starting the group, me and Ben, we lived near to each other. We're from Prestwich.
Nice.
So we grew up in Manchester. We started doing music around 17, 18. And then we went to uni, went our separate ways. And then we found a band in Liverpool. So we based up over there.
Nice quality.
Yeah.
And then
so we
finding the additional members.
Yeah, well, I went to uni in Liverpool. That's where I met Josh and
on the
Meg
same
and Joe.
course, me and
Quality.
Yeah.
And that's a nice little melting pot of
It is.
two different, very incredible musical cities.
See,
Yeah,
yeah.
Good. It's good when the football's on as well, because it gets interesting.
So how long have you guys been together for?
About 2 years now. About 2 years.
Quality. So then creating a band in general was just easy for you to hop along with and sort of get stuck in.
Yeah, it was easier to form it and
Yeah.
then to go and find people than join in a pre-established one.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
much
yeah.
easier to start, I thought anyway.
And now, were you living in Liverpool, or did you have to go over and?
No,
get
I
stuck
used to go over on the train every time to rehearse and
Nice.
used to do that. But now I live there. We all live together now, so
Oh,
it's a good little
Idyllic
gaff.
HQ
a good
Idyllic
laugh.
HQ.
in Wavertree.
Talk to us. Give us a
fans.
little. I know this is audio. We can't go in there, but give us a little tour around the gaff.
It's a
Go through the
nightmare.
front door. Is it a nightmare?
It's a nightmare.
Why?
like,
Stink.
it does stink.
It's our housemate's fault, that.
Yeah,
He's not in the band.
Is he not?
No,
what,
no.
So how many people live with you?
4, 3. There's us 3 and then one more other lad.
we won't talk about it.
Yeah, he's
Get a
not
special
here.
mention.
Does the other lad like have to be like a groupie now? Does he look after you in
Yeah,
any way?
he's got to bring him as tambourine tech.
Yeah,
Have him doing that.
If we can, we're gonna get him on as just a techie.
Do you find moving in with each other has helped you then?
Definitely, because when it's just easier, so you don't have to travel, do you, for Bracky or anything like that. And then also just sort of like being together, listening to the same tunes, like there's always tunes on,
Yeah.
and then just having a laugh, you know what I mean? And then because obviously these two didn't know each other before they joined the band and stuff like that, it just brought us like closer together.
Brought us together, especially the music, the clothes. You know, you know, the more time you spend with someone, the more you become alike. You know.
That
And it
harmony
helps,
is
yeah.
important, isn't it? Was that important? How did you just sort of get together, practice a lot, go out at all, boozing? How did
Yeah.
that all form?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we live just off. I'm gonna call it the strip. It's not a strip. It's a few pubs.
Strip, I love it.
But we
Might as
live
well be.
on Smithdown Road, and if
Yeah.
anyone knows that, there's a load of pubs on Smithdown Road, and we live just off it. So it is most nice at this point, to be honest, that we go in the pubs. But yeah, it's a good laugh.
Yeah, it's
Do
good.
enjoy it.
You know, it gets us going together, and then it's like when you bring that energy into rehearsal room, there's just the chemistry, and it helps
Nice.
with the tunes, etc. You know, it's good.
And then the music for those who don't know, the influences, are they from a range of different places, or are they sort of strong in Manchester and Liverpool?
Well, one of the biggest like advantages of being from Liverpool, them being from Liverpool, and us not knowing until each other until we were about 18 was everyone listened to different tunes when they were growing up. Everyone had, you know, their dads and mums who listened to different tunes that obviously rubbed off on us. So it weren't like we all went primary school together, we all went high school together, and we all listened to Oasis, you know what I mean? We were all into different stuff. And then that helps with like the arrangement of the tunes when we bring them in, because everyone's got different influences. So it allows us to like make a melting pot of different things instead of just
It's hard
being-
to pin down because every single member in the band is into different stuff, but we all have overlapping things we all like. So it's quite good because it means like we're not all pulling from one sound. We're not just trying to do this. We're trying to do like 5 different things at once.
Yeah.
And it works. It works for us, you know.
And when you first got together, was it just about gigging, or did you already have ideas of tunes and ideas of sounds, or did you want to just flesh out on stage a little bit before you decided to put pen to paper?
Mostly for us, it was finding a chemistry together and making sure we'd got the right people in the right spots for the band. Because first, if we didn't get on with them, it was pointless starting something with them if they weren't like, just didn't allude to
You
what
got
we
to
were
be mates,
into.
aren't you?
Yeah, you have to build relationships with people before you can build music with them, and you have to, because you know, me and Ben have done this together for a long time, and then the others come in, and then we've done it all as a group now. So it's much better that we're all invested in terms of personalities, and it helps the tunes come better.
It helps the tunes come better indeed. What tunes have we got out at a minute then? What can people listen to?
We've got, how many is it now? Is it 4?
4 out now. There's
We've
4.
just released a song called The World's Falling Down last Friday. Yeah, and then there's 3 others as well that we released. Probably 4 or 5 line came out last year, and then the other 2 came out about a year ago. So there are 4 more on there, 4 on there that you can go listen to. But we've got
check out.
yeah, and then we've got another one coming out at the beginning of April, and then an EP coming out at the end of April with 5 tunes on it. So
I love it.
a lot
What
of
about building a
material.
little bit of a fan base? How have you found that? Because obviously there's real emphasis on social media at the minute and building a fan base there, but just performing live and getting out in front of people. Which of you found the most successful for you?
Well, a lot of bands go the social media route, but we sort of did the opposite to start with. We gigged everywhere and
Probably
anywhere.
did too much, to be honest. But it's good.
We played some
We do it for a reason, 'cause we love it, you know.
Hey, air out the right ones. You don't have to name any places,
you
but
have to
what
do
kind
it.
of gigs did you used to do?
Well,
Oh, there's been some shockers.
it's
There has been some
it's like
shockers.
first round of the FA Cup. Some of them.
Yeah.
You know, you have to beat Burton to play. You know, City. You have to do that.
You have to do it.
We've got our eyes on the trophy. You have to go to Wembley.
Including sort of like sound, the way you sound and everything, like sound techs and stuff. I guess not every venue's got one of them. Are you just sort of...
Well, no. We found out that not everywhere had a microphone where we played.
Some venues had a techie for about an hour, and then halfway through the set they just go, and you'd be like, I don't know what's going on here.
No.
I can see him out the window walking away.
Oh, but yeah.
One good example in Manchester where we were on stage, and you know, when you first go on, you want to just start straight away
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
introduce. And we stood on stage for about 3-4 minutes looking at each other. What's going on here? You know, the microphone's not on. Guitars are fine. They start going, and then get a bit into the song. The sound tech's not there, and he's disappeared. The set started. Oh, where's he gone? 10 minutes later, he comes back down the stairs. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
you're like,
He's heaving at him.
go to sing the opening note and
Oh,
nothing
yeah,
comes
no.
out.
no.
I
Who's
know.
the one that keeps a level head there, and who's the one that kind of goes, right, that's fucking shite?
Well, we got to the end of the tune before we even realised, because obviously we can't hear it. We can't hear what the crowd's
your
hearing.
feedback.
Sort of everyone looking at us like that.
yeah,
You're like, oh,
this
gone
is
on here?
odd. Singers on mute or something. Yeah.
He's a mimer.
But I love it
Backing track
because
player.
there's such graft to it, isn't there? About like, I suppose it's a little bit harder in terms of your art form because you've got to bring a full band with you to perform in front of people. But that is an amazing way of building fans. Just people seeing you live.
Yeah.
What shows have you done where you've called it, you're a headliner, and people come and pay tickets to see you? What have you done in the past?
So we did when our first 2 singles came out. We did a couple headliners, didn't we? We did we sold out the Casimir in Liverpool, and then
Quality.
we sold out a place called Mancunia Arts in Manchester, which is just in Salford actually.
Nice.
So they're about 100 each, so we sold both of them out. But it's more about, for us, we've more focused on support slots because you play to people that would not see you normally.
Yeah.
That's how you build. That's how we've built our fan base, by playing to people, playing to other people's audiences and winning those fans over.
I love that. And do you have to just approach the bands that you want to support, or do you have to approach their management ever, throw some CD, throw some links to Spotify, etc.?
When we first started, it was hard work because we didn't have any material out when we first, like, we gigged before we had any tunes out or anything like that. So you just have to sort of send emails and pray.
Yeah.
Pester a lot of people.
Be kind as well.
Yeah, of course. You've got to be nice, yeah.
So, and then hopefully one of them takes a chance on you. But once you got tunes out, and if your tunes are good, then it gets easier and easier.
And easier.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the style of the band. Best hair going so far on the couch, I think. All
Come on.
three of us rocking it.
Oh,
Happy
you've
days.
done well, haven't you?
You've done
First
well.
time.
You calling out his mullet in 4K a minute ago. What's
First
going
time
on
for
there?
everything here, John.
Is there- what? Because you looked around at the TV screen the first time you seen your mullet in 4K. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Well, it's good, isn't it? I've always thought you sort of got like an 80s footballer. You know those old like Panini cards, or like, and you see, and it's like Beckenbauer or like whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Lair. No, what's
We
he
get a
called?
lot of
Muller.
comments. We do get a lot of comments on that, and we actually got recognised. We actually got recognised for the first time out in town on a night out. And the guy went, "Oh yeah, you're the singer from Idyllic, aren't you?" And he went, "Oh yeah." And the guy went, "Yeah, I remember your mullet."
Oh, quality.
USP, isn't it?
Special thank you to Rudy Voller for the inspiration.
That's the one.
Have you ever? Would you ever say so? If you ever on a night out, or as a band, someone made a little bold fashion statement that they'd wear something on a gig.
They won't go on
Would
stage.
you call them out on it?
Yeah,
You go, "That's a bit too far."
It
Well,
won't go on stage with it.
we had some issues with this man right here when we first started.
Go on. This is a safe space.
Turning up to a gig in like chino 3/4 length shorts. And
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
Like that.
We had the outfit in the
He
bag. We
came-
were
he
comfy.
came
It was a long
straight
way.
off.
Buy a Munich jumper.
Ah,
and roll,
mate.
Jumper that though.
But yeah, but as you live with each other and get into the same tunes, it becomes.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
mean,
know.
have you set little milestones out for 2024? Stuff you want to do and stuff you want to get sorted?
Yeah, definitely. I think few milestones with social media. Try and hit like 1,000 followers on Instagram. So we're nearly there. So little things like that, and then just do better gigs. Like we had a gig like 2 weeks ago when there was about 300 people there. So
Nice.
for us, that was like not big to a lot of people. To us,
yeah.
it was like that was great, and it was a good gig. And it's like just keep the momentum going like that, where it's like that's done now. Don't look at it as if like, oh, that was amazing, that's done, let's do it again. You know what I mean?
What about when there's 300 people there and you go, right, there's 300 potential new fans, as well as doing a great set, do you have to like know to do certain things, like obviously always repeat who you are and shit like that? Do you have to keep your eye out for like, or keep your mind focused on making sure that if these lot love you, you know, but you don't want to go too overboard and look a bit like, have you got the line right for that yet?
Because you've got to plug your band whilst looking cool. Obviously.
Yeah.
And you've got to respect that
There's a
whoever's on in
fine
front of you
line,
as well. You
yeah.
can't like, put up a big sign that says we're Idyllic and then there's someone on after you.
Yeah.
There's like etiquette there, Well, at least I think and we think,
Yeah, I remember I was with a group of mates once and they were in a band and it was a gig at Gorilla and
Boss venue that.
yeah, it's a great venue. They bought a neon sign from China, which was their little logo. And they were only support, so what they did was they tied up the neon sign behind a band called Cassia, who were headlining, and a band called Plastic House who were supporting, good lads. And they'd left the neon sign up, but they turned it off. So in all the photos, but in the last two songs when they went the rowdiest, one of them was a bit of a fucking cheeky bastard. Switched the neon sign back on. So in all the press shots,
That's brilliant.
there is the little logo. Of,
See, I think that's funny and
I think
cool,
that's great.
Yeah.
but they'll never get asked back to support Cassia ever again.
won't.
It's a fine line to walk.
It is. You've got to have that respect. You've got to go forward.
Yeah.
So, have we got more shows in the pipeline that you're going to be headlining that we can look towards?
Yeah, so the 26th of April, we're headlining the Casimir Stock Room again. And then the 3rd of May, we're doing Castle Hotel in the Northern
Quality.
Quarter.
Good little venue. That's
Yeah,
Great
it's
venue,
isn't
that's
it?
cool.
It's
Yeah.
top.
Yes.
I love it. And also, in your life like then, when you live together, do you practice a lot?
We practice, we practice 10 hours a week. We'll try and practice 10 hours a week. It's hard because everyone has
We
jobs
do
and that
like
as well.
like one of us will come back from work, the other one will be sitting there. We'll go, oh, try this tune. I've just given him a go. Not that one. Then we'll do it again the next day. Like, oh, that's good that, and then we bring it to rehearsal. So it's helpful for stuff like that. Just constantly stuff going on. Because I feel like even if we're just listening to a tune we've never heard, that's still getting your mind going to bring into whatever.
Quality.
Yeah.
Well, listen, lads, thank you very much for coming in. And all the best
Thanks
going
for having us,
forward.
mate.
Thank you for having us.
And make sure, like people who are thick like me, spell out the band name, spell out your Instagram, spell out your Spotify. Make sure people know where to listen to you and dive into a tune.
Okay, so we're Idyllic, IDYLLIC. .HQ on Instagram.
Yeah, nice. Great. That .HQ. Don't
Cheers,
forget it.
nice one. The at the start of it as well. You can find us on Spotify, Idyllic, Twitter, at UK Idyllic. We didn't follow the trend there. We changed it. But yeah, Idyllic, TikTok,
YouTube
search
as
it up,
well.
you'll
On
see us.
YouTube, etc. We've got music videos out there as well.
A few
We've
stuff.
got a couple acoustic things
Quality.
and stuff like that as well.
We're
yeah.
cracking. So what's the rest of this night for your night like? Are you going to go home together now or
I'm
what?
gonna go see me grandma.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
She lives in Salford, so I'm gonna go say hi and then.
Quality.
Yeah,
What
shout out.
about your yogurt? Sorry, shout out to your grandma.
Shout
Sorry.
out to Christine.
Sorry, I interrupted.
She'll love that.
I interrupted. Shout out to your grandma. Give her a proper shout
It's
out.
all right. Go on, Christine. We love you.
And you can go and eat your yogurt now. What was this? Tell us about the yogurt.
Oh, I haven't even
Been
tried
waiting
it, but
all day.
I've been. I stared that down in Costa and I went, I'm having that. So
Right.
I can't wait to get on that later.
You love, I love
Pop
it.
it on YouTube. Go on
Do.
to YouTube. It'll be on there.
Little TikTok review of it. Idyllic, thank you very much for joining us. And listen, we have got one more artist in the spotlight for this episode. It's called Oliver Pinder, and he will join us next on Will We Talk. Hello, you. Are you enjoying this podcast? Brilliant. Do us a favor, make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening on Apple and Spotify, give us a little 5-star review and a follow. It really does mean the world to everyone who puts on this amazing pod. And we are going to be releasing weekly Will We Talk episodes for you. Welcome back, everyone, to the second part of Will We Talk. It is two artists in the spotlight today. We had the brilliant Idyllic on before, and now we're joined by Oliver Pinder, who is here, well, in the midst of an amazing tour, Manchester Day happening today.
Yeah.
How's things going, Oliver? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, really, really good. Tired, I feel like the big thing at the minute, but not really good with day 4 today of a 6-day tour, and we
Nice.
did a silly thing of having 5 gigs back to back. So I'm well and truly knackered. It's me and Harry, my drummer, that's sharing the driving as well. So it's not even like I'm getting the chill time. But
Where was last night?
we're in Newcastle last night, which is really good, up in the Toon. Yeah, really good time. I love playing in Newcastle. It's always just everyone's well up for it. And then we're in Edinburgh on Tuesday.
Wow.
Not Tuesday, Wednesday.
Some other
and
day. All the days
Nottingham
mentioned
on Tuesday.
Nice. And then what
so
are the
yeah.
final dates?
So Manchester tonight,
Yeah.
London tomorrow, and then Leeds next week.
Brilliant.
So yeah. good
Where
fun.
do you call home then, Oliver?
Wakefield to me, shaky
Lovely.
wakey.
Shaky,
Yeah,
wakey.
it's a good time, is wakey.
Is
But,
it?
yeah.
And has Wakefield sort of helped you be who you are?
Yeah, 100%. I think Wakey shaped me. So I grew up in Bradford,
Nice.
and then moved to Wakefield when I was like 16. So Wakefield's been like a huge, I suppose, shaping block, because when I was 16, I was kind of uprooted and then was just kind of forced to make loads of new friends and and it's a strange age to kind of be switching
That is
from
a strange age.
yeah, it's really weird actually, but I definitely say it shaped me into who I am now. Yeah.
Did music help?
Yeah, 100%. I was never really in Wakefield that much.
Mm.
Like, I think I've played a gig in Wakefield once or twice maximum. And one of them was actually before I moved to Wakefield.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly just out of
Yeah.
Wakefield, really. But Wakefield's kind of like home, and that's kind of nice because it's detached, and like there's nothing really that in Wakefield that links me back to music, which is interesting. But yeah, I love Wakefield.
Have you
man.
been gigging and singing for a while?
Yeah, so I started when I was like probably about 12 that I started writing
Wow.
my own stuff, and then started gigging at 13.
Did
I
you really?
Yeah, I played, I did like a competition that was called Centre Stage, which was for Martin House Children's Hospice when I was
Oh, wow.
13. I think I was technically supposed to be minimum age of 14, but and played the O2 Academy in Leeds when I was 13.
How incredible
Yeah,
was that?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Mate, that was like, I still probably haven't done a venue that's that big since then, but, which is a bit of a mug off. 10 years later, I'm like, come on, give me my time again.
So from 13, when did you think you found your sort of style that you are really sort of honing in on? Like, because obviously you've matured and things change. When
Yeah.
have you? What age do you think? Right, I know my sound now.
I think it's only been recently, you know. I think this last year has been a real turning block. And I wouldn't say, and I think this is kind of really loose, but I wouldn't say I've got like a certain style and
Nice.
genre. I think it is quite fluid. And I think anyone that comes down to the gigs, you'd be like, I really try and make it so there's something for everyone. Like, I'd like to think
Yeah.
that anyone could just come and show up to a show and find at least one song that they'd get quite attached with. So that's kind of the goal. But I think at the minute it's a little bit more indie, guitar-y. That's what I'm writing at the moment.
And why is that for you? Do you think you found your feet now? Is there anything that's happened in your life, or is it meeting certain people? We'll speak about the band in a minute.
Yeah. Well, probably leads nicely on to the band, if anything, because about a year ago, I met a lad called Harry who became my drummer. And at the time, I was like, I just want a drummer. I'll play guitar. We'll play to track. And like, that'll be nice and easy. We can do it in a car. It'll be nice and simple. So I met Harry just about a year ago, and that started shaping things. And then, 6 months later, we had another 3 members, and now we're in a van and not in a car anymore. So there's 5 of us now. So we've got Harry on drums, Morgan on guitar, Tucker on bass, and Hattie on guitar and vocals. So there's like quite a lot of us now, and I think that playing with the band made me kind of go, I want to just play more things that I can kind of have a good time. So when you're playing by yourself, it don't really matter. Like you can play the slower, kind of softer, more heartfelt stuff, and you can do that with a band, and it'll still sound epic, right? But it's more fun doing fun stuff.
Were those extra band members needed for the songs that you were writing? Or did you want extra band members because you were scratching at the surface of something and you wanted to take them to sort of the next level in a way?
I think that's an interesting question. I think it was really to take it to that next step. Yeah. And it's interesting because the songs that we wrote and recorded before the band came about, hearing the track of the recording and what's on Spotify versus what is like the live set, it's just so much more energetic and got so much more character to it. But I think like now when we're looking at the new songs and the new singles that are going to be coming out later in the year, they will have that like full band sound as to how you'd see it live. So yeah, it's interesting, man.
That's
it's interesting.
Quality. And what have we got out at a minute then? It's always nice to know what people can go and dive into and listen to. Yeah. Like what sort of, is it EP, singles?
Yeah, so I put an EP out last year called Potential, I guess, which was a bit of a journey. That's kind of got a bit of everything on there, and that was very much all written before band. And there's a single out that we put out in November called Pretty Faces, which is a little bit more like what you'd see in the live set. And then we've got some more stuff coming out later in the year.
Lovely. Nice. And when you say more stuff, is that stuff you've written all together? Is that stuff you've had in your back pocket for a bit?
There's stuff that, is just me. There's one song that literally every single member of the band has had like a hand in writing.
Amazing.
Which is really nice. We played that for the first time on the first night of this tour. But yeah, so it's kind of a solid mixture, but it's good fun.
In touring in the van, the old van, who's in charge of what's being played, and then what would you say is the most popular choice at a minute?
So there's a few things. To be honest, there's not been too much music. We've got a TV in the back.
Nice.
So the Switch has been on a lot. There's been a lot of Mario Kart. We started on Monopoly on the Switch today.
How has that been?
It was good. I was the first one to lose, so I was the first one out, first one bankrupt. I don't know if it was a bit of a paddy, really. I probably could have saved myself by mortgage and stuff, but just decided not to. But music-wise, we're all obsessed with Wonder Horse, the band. Been a lot of Wonder Horse on.
Oh, really? Brilliant.
The big one. Yeah.
That's quality. Yeah, Wonder Horse are a phenomenal band.
Yeah, they're great, man. Have you seen them live?
I've never seen them live.
Mate, I'd 100% recommend. It's a
really
proper, like, sweaty indie gig, as they used to be, yeah.
I mean, is that sort of gigs you like the most then, when you are, instead of being on stage, watching? Do you like the ones where it's a bit rowdy a little bit?
Yeah, I like a rowdy gig. I like a chill gig. I'm very like eclectic with that stuff. Like, there's a festival called Barn on the Farm. They're not actually doing it this year, but that's very just eclectic on the music palette. And you kind of going from stage to stage. One of them's like really chilled, and then the next one you go to is like just proper indie stage, and you're like, right. So I think it's just a finite balance. But yeah, I'm easy with live.
And for yourself, 2024 festivals, they're always on bands' minds to get out there and artists' minds. Have you got stuff lined up? Are you reaching out to the festivals, seeing and saying, look, we're here?
We've got a couple of festivals in the diary.
Nice.
That I don't think any of them are announced.
No, well, we can save them.
I'll keep it quiet.
Them,
But certainly a few festivals. Some support gigs over summer, I think, is going to be the big one, and then probably another headline run later in the year. I reckon.
Nice. Well, with that, when it's like post tour, how are you when you've sort of left that behind? Do you? Because everyone talks about the post tour blues and stuff like that. Do you think you'll suffer from that?
I genuinely sometimes feel like I'm living Hannah Montana's lifestyle because like we hand the van back on Sunday and I'm back to work Monday morning and then we've got 2 days back at work and then we've got Leeds again and then I don't think I'm working the Thursday, so I'll probably go all out at the Leeds gig. But yeah, there's definitely an element of post-tour blues. Particularly, I think this time will be worse because usually we're doing it in cars and we're kind of used to that lifestyle. But like this time, it's just been so nice having the band and everyone travelling together, and rather than us being separated in like multiple cars. And it's been nice as well because usually it's me and Harry that drive 2 cars. I never get to have a drink. Harry never gets to have a drink, so we've been able to like split that as well. And we didn't drive home from Edinburgh, and we had like a good night out on that night.
Quality, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit mad though, stuff like that, because when we were in Edinburgh, we had a hostel like 2 minutes down the road from the venue, and we're like just traipsing all the gear from the venues. It must have been a hysterical sight at like 11:30 on a Wednesday evening.
When you put out a tour like that, and there's different parts of the country that are obviously far away from home, do you worry a little bit about? Oh, I hope people come to that. I hope people come to that. There's
man, 100%. We'd never played in Scotland before, ever. So I think there's definitely that anxiety. But at the end of the day, you've got to do it to get 100%. Out there. And even if there's 10 people in the room, we're going to give it our best show. And we've been really lucky and really fortunate. Like Edinburgh was a really busy one, and we were all set. But naturally with that stuff, we were just expected not many people will be there, but we need to do it to ever get out there, right? Otherwise you just end up stuck streaming on TikTok or Instagram. Like you don't want to be doing that life forever.
No, you don't. So for the rest of the year, we've got an exciting year to come up, festivals and shows and that. Are some of the tunes that you want to bring out already written, or are you going to get back into the studio and go for it?
Yeah, I think everything that will come out this year is written. We're not playing it all at the moment on this set, but like the majority is kind of fully fledged and would be exactly as you'd hear it tonight in Manchester.
Quality.
Nice.
How is it on the stage with everyone then? Because obviously you've gone from just being by yourself on there, and now you're with us. You can look them in your eye, a bit of teamwork on that stage.
Yeah, it's great because sometimes when you play by yourself, it can be quite depressing. Like you can come off stage and be like, was that crap? Like, was it absolutely dog shit? I'm not too sure. Whereas when you've got the band around you, you'll turn around and be like, was that bit a bit shit? And they'll be like, no, it was great. So like, I don't know. There was like, we threw a different song in there last night that we'd not done the rest of the tour. And that was just like solo tune.
Is that just to keep things interesting then?
Yeah, man. Like, there's a few things that I suppose are on the set list that we've kind of took off.
Yeah.
And then I've built back in. So it kind of depends on like if things run behind, we'll be like, right, we'll cut a couple of tunes. So we've kind of known which ones have been taken out. But like last night, I did one song solo, which I've not done for this whole run, and turned around to the band afterwards and was like, was that shit? And they were like, nah, I think that was like one of the most special moments of the set. And which that's really nice here as well, because they don't have to say that. It's the one part of the set they're not involved in.
Do you get time to appreciate them moments on stage then?
Yeah. I'd say it's always like 110%, like just full on.
Yeah.
I think it can be quite hard with the balancing act of the minute I get off stage, generally I go chat to people, I go to speak to the people that have watched the gig, which I think like I always want to be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to thank the people that have spent the last hour of their lives with us. But I think it can just be quite hectic to really take it in. Like I think this week in particular, it feels like it's going so quick, and I don't really even know. I'm looking back on memories and thinking, oh, that was great, but like. Did I appreciate it in that moment? Probably not. Yeah. But will I sit there for the next 3 weeks after the tour and like reminisce over everything? Yeah, 100%.
Quality. Oliver, thank you very much for popping by.
Thank you so much.
Talk to us about the best places to hear you and make sure we follow you.
Yeah, 100%. I'm on all the social media, and all the music's on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can find music, it's going to be there. But yeah, so Be great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Right, thank you very much for watching Will We Talk. That is it for another episode. Just a little word of, well, not warning, but just letting you know what's happening. This amazing set is brought to you by Badger and Coombs, who have looked after us so well over the last, 2 months. I've got a little place of my own. Don't worry, Badger and Coombs, we're still best friends, aren't we? Everyone's giving us a big thumbs up here. The set will just look a tiny bit different. Colin, who is in charge of Badger and Coombs, won't let me take this to the new set. So we'll have new sets, we'll have new chairs, we'll have a new TV. It won't be as big as this bastard, but it will be the sort of same look and the same vibe. It'll just change a little. That is in 2 episodes' time, but I'm just giving you a little word of warning. There you go. Oliver, thank you very much for coming in, mate. Have a lovely time in Manchester. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a bit.